Hey there, I'm student meteorologist Monique Martinez with your Tuesday edition of FSU weather. Currently over Doak, we have a very prominent shelf of clouds really hinting at those rain chances that we'll see in the next couple of hours. Now that storm activity has cooled us down quite a bit, sitting at a nice 83 degrees with some light winds coming in at 3 miles per hour. Now across the Big Bend, we are seeing temperatures in the low 80s, with the exception being Thomasville at 90 degrees, but overall very, very nice compared to what we've been seeing. Now speaking of that storm activity, we have quite a bit of activity going right now. We have some onshore moisture really aiding in that activity that we're seeing in Tallahassee, and as I mentioned before, we will see those storms and showers really progress throughout the day and the next week. Now, for today's show, we have severe weather in the northern U.S. The tropics are beginning to heat up, and the rain is expected to really persist across the southeast and in Tallahassee. All that and more on FSU weather. And welcome back in on this Tuesday edition of FSU weather. Now, right now we are looking at Doak Campbell again. It is very, very cloudy. We are expecting some showers to push through our region, but right now we're going to take a look at our temperature almanac. We're sitting at a very comfortable 94 degrees, which is slightly above average, and for our low as well, that is also slightly above average. Now, our current temperatures in the Big Bend, we are currently sitting at 83 in Tallahassee, a nice 88 in Thomasville, so we're sitting at the mid-80s to low 70s across the region. Now, our current dew points are very, very close to those temperatures, and that is because of that convection that we have in the atmosphere. So we are seeing lots of increased moisture, and we'll see that moisture kind of progress as those storms move through the region. Now, for our heat index values, we are currently feeling like 92 degrees and slightly above average for this time of year. However, we are still pretty comfortable, comparatively speaking, to last week. Now, as we take a look at this satellite and radar, you can see as the day progresses, we'll have that storm activity kind of really push through Tallahassee, and that those storms will persist until tonight, and then they will really clear up over the evening hours into the afternoon tomorrow, and then they will come back tomorrow evening around this time. Now, our wind speed and directions, we currently have that onshore flow coming in at Tallahassee, and we have those light winds coming in at 3 miles per hour. Now, for tomorrow, if you want to go out running, we have a good, comfortable day ahead. At 7 a.m., we are at 75 degrees, and we will progressively warm up at a nice 84 degrees at 11 a.m. Now, as I hinted at before, right now on our satellite and radar, the storms will clear up tonight and really pop back up as that sun goes down tomorrow, bringing us more moisture and showers tomorrow. Now, for tomorrow's temperatures, we are going to be at a stormy 87 degrees in Tallahassee, and rain is really the story across the southeast and the Big Bend because those temperatures will really be comfortable. However, we will see those showers progress. Now, for our 7-day, we are going to look at this and really see these stormy conditions really progress throughout the weekend. And for your 4th of July, we're seeing a 50% chance of rain for your weekend. So let's go day by day. For Wednesday, we have a 60% chance of rain, 50% chance of rain. So you see these rain shower chances increase, and they steadily increase throughout the week until we reach the 4th of July weekend. We will be at a nice 91 degrees on Monday. However, we will still see that rain on Tuesday at 93 degrees. Now we're going to take a look at our southeast, and again, as I mentioned, rain is really the story across this area. Now, for Fort Lauderdale, it's sitting very nice and looks very beautiful with blue skies. However, you can see it's a different story in Charleston and Atlanta. Atlanta is all clouds, and in New Orleans, it's partly sunny at 89 degrees. Now, for our current conditions in the southeast, we have conditions in the low 80s to mid 90s, and you can see right now in Tallahassee, it is 83 degrees and slightly warmer in Montgomery at 94 degrees. Now, as I mentioned before, we have lots of moisture in the air, and so those current dew points across this region right here, we're very moist, currently at 71 for our dew point in Tallahassee, and you can see that's much of the case throughout Florida. And for our current heat index, it currently feels like 92 degrees in Tallahassee, very, very warm, considerably speaking, still in New Orleans with a heat index value at 102 and 100 in Montgomery. And you can see Tampa is our exception for Florida because they also have that high triple-digit heat index range at 100 degrees. Now for our southeast radar, we are looking right now at this onshore moisture that we have coming in from the Gulf and the Atlantic. So as you can see right now, those storms and showers are pushing through, and that is also because of that stationary front that we have really lingering over the southeast. Now right now, those lines of showers and storms that we're seeing are really due to that stationary front. However, it's a different story for our neighbors over here to the west in New Orleans and Houston. We have a low pressure system that we are really monitoring off of the Gulf, and you can see that that activity right there is really a rainmaker for them throughout the next couple of days. Now for that wind speed and direction, you can also really see that counterclockwise motion in the Gulf because of that low pressure system, and they have those more brisk winds coming in New Orleans and Tallahassee. We are still we're breezy, considerably speaking. Now for tonight's forecast, we are at 75 in Tallahassee, 79 in Tampa, and these temperatures for tonight are really mild compared to what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Now I kind of hinted at that front earlier, so we'll kind of take a look at it now, and you can see it's kind of stalling out, and as that moves forward, it will turn into a warm front. Now as that front pushes through the region, we will continue to see that line of showers and storms really move through, but we will keep you abreast and just aware of those conditions as the days progress. Now for our outlook in Charleston, it's very comfortable at 79 degrees on Wednesday. However, you can see that they'll warm up progressively, and those rain chances will also warm up as the days progress. Now for tomorrow, we'll be at 87 degrees in Tallahassee, and you can see right here in New Orleans, 87 as well. And then throughout the most of Florida, we will be sitting in the low 90s. Now I'm going to hand it off to Brandon for a look at our national.
Thank you, Monique. Yes, and I guess plenty of stuff to talk about nationally across the U.S. So on this chart right here, we see a lot of the front and high pressure and low pressure systems. Over in the southeast, we do have that cold front and stationary front stationed over those southeastern states, and a cold front up to the north in the upper Midwest that is helping kick off some of that severe threat later today. We'll take a look at. But as you go up in the atmosphere, that high pressure ridge that has been keeping us hot for the past couple of weeks, it is now over to the west, bringing them some hot conditions. So that's where the high pressure is now, and we have a little bit of cool conditions in the northeast as they are, just above that, that ridge above the jet stream, and we are seeing some of these stormy conditions, in the southeast and the upper Midwest. So active alerts right now, not too much on the eastern side of the U.S., but as we go toward the central and the western side, we do have a fire weather warning over in Nebraska, as well as 2 spots of severe thunderstorm watches in that pink-purple color over in Montana, as well as into Wisconsin. So let's go take a look at the SBC Storm Prediction Center's outlook for today. We do have a slight risk of severe weather into Wisconsin that is prompting that severe thunderstorm watch, and we have a non-severe risk over the most of the southeast where those storms are with that stationary front, and a little bit over to the west, and another slight risk over in Montana. So let's take a look at the current radar for Wisconsin, where that severe thunderstorm watch is located. So just north of Green Bay, we see that watch has shifted a little bit more to the east in the past couple hours as the storms race toward the Great Lakes. So zooming into the squall line, so this is associated with some very heavy rain. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning a couple minutes ago. That has since expired, so we're expecting some severe wind gusts and even some mid to large hail with this system moving toward the east. And over to the west, over in Montana, not too much has popped up so far. We did have one severe thunderstorm warning pop up a little bit ago, but that has expired. But we're expecting to see an increase in activity as we go toward the evening to around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock over there in the mountain time. So going on to tomorrow, our day 2 outlook, it's about the same for our area here in the southeast. We just some thunderstorms. We do have a marginal risk up to the north over in the Dakotas and into Minnesota. And for the next 3 days, our rainfall again is going to be concentrated into the southeast, where we do have that stationary front helping prompt up all those thunderstorms and showers, as well as into Texas, where that Gulf system will be moving toward their way. So that will be a very big rainmaker for them. And over to the west, where they do need the rain, they're not going to get as much rain as the east, just a few as we are heading toward monsoon season for the southwest. So for tonight, our temperatures will be dipping down into about the mid-70s and 80s for the southeast, a little bit cooler behind that front, 69 up there in Memphis and 65 in Washington, D.C. And over toward the west, we see similar conditions with cooler conditions in the Pacific Northwest at 58 degrees in Seattle, and a little bit warmer at 80 degrees over there in Salt Lake City. And for tomorrow's temperatures, we see we're going to kick right back up again in most places. So mid-80s in the southeast, 97 up there, down there in San Antonio, 89 in Miami, and over toward the west, a little bit warmer conditions as well, 86 in Albuquerque, and 94 over in Denver. So let's talk about the tropics now, since they're beginning to heat up over in the Atlantic and as well as into the Gulf of Mexico. So first, let's take a look at the Eastern Pacific. Here we have Celia. It is now remnants of Celia, so it has gone post-tropical as it is moving toward, over open water, no threat to any land currently. As we get a little bit toward the eastern side of the basin, we do have a chance for tropical development, 50% chance over the next 5 days for a blob of convection over the south of Mexico, so keep an eye on that. And heading over to the Atlantic, we see we're beginning to heat up as we go a little more toward the equator, a lot of convection just north of South America. So that's going to be potential tropical storm, potential tropical cyclone 2, excuse me, it's hard words to say sometimes. But let's start over in the Gulf of Mexico. We do have a 40% chance in the next 5 days of development of this system that will gradually move southwestward and then eventually up into the Texas region. We might get a quick tropical depression from this, maybe a weak tropical storm, but mostly the story for this one is going to be a lot of rain for the Houston and coastal Texas area. And moving over toward South America, we do have PTC2, definitely easier to say, potential tropical cyclone 2. So that classification basically just means that it's expected to become a tropical cyclone, and so therefore the National Hurricane Center can issue watches and warnings for that system, because it was Invest 94L a couple of days yesterday. And so we do have another system behind it, 20% chance of development over the next 5 days that will be moving toward the west. And here it is, so we'll be moving toward Honduras region and possibly become a tropical system, storm or hurricane. And in the models, kicking that off with some what we call vorticity, or just spin in the atmosphere toward the west. So it's kicking it off, but we'll say definitely southward from the continental U.S. And we do have a lot of sea surface temperatures up into the mid-80s, even 90s over in the Gulf of Mexico. So prime conditions for tropical cyclone development. And this is the line that we look for, 26 degrees Celsius, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, where tropical cyclones like to develop from. And so here in the Gulf of Mexico, we're reaching 90 degrees for our sea surface temperatures. So now I'll go ahead and pass it back over to Winnique to give us a nice look at our local for one last time.
Thank you, Brandon, for that in-depth look at the tropics and what we have going on. Currently, locally, we don't have those storms pushing through just yet. And you can see a beautiful look at Doak Campbell, again, with those clouds really hovering over the stadium and really hinting at those conditions that we're going to see in the next couple of hours. Now, currently at Doak, we are at 93 degrees, cloudy with some light winds coming in at 3 miles per hour. For our current temperatures, we're sitting in the low to mid 80s across the region, currently at 83 degrees in Tallahassee. Now, as we look at our satellite and radar, we have quite a bit of activity. These showers are pushing through, and right here over here in this area, we have a thunderstorm warning that actually just expired. However, you see these showers really pushing through and that lightning really present over that area. For our future radar, those storms will push through tonight, and as those storms push through, they'll clear up in the morning hours and really return tomorrow evening around this time at 6:15 p.m. Now for tonight's evening forecast, we have very, very beautiful, comfortable conditions with some slight chances of rain, currently 86, at 7 p.m., and that will slow down and cool off as the night progresses. However, we would love for you to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook at FSU Weather. You can also follow us on YouTube. I'm sure you're watching on YouTube now at FSU Weather. Also, please like us on Instagram at FSU Weather. So one last look at Doak Campbell, we see we have those prominent clouds sitting over the sky, and we will really have those rain chances coming in over the next couple of hours. Now, as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, you see that those rain chances will really increase as the weekend progresses, and that 4th of July weekend is looking pretty stormy. All that and more. Thank you so much for watching FSU Weather.